Hello everyone, welcome to AdiTrade. Today we're going to be seeing a trade review of what happened today and a trade analysis for 1st September, that is tomorrow. So what I have opened here is the 5-minute chart for Bank Nifty. In yesterday's video I did mention that there is a good resistance at 36,400, and I also mentioned why that resistance is because of we did go to the 1-hour chart and see that we did put this line and see, right, there's a good resistance over here at about 36,490, 500. We exactly took resistance there today, even in intraday. That is this line, this red line that I had marked. Yeah. So we exactly took pretty much resistance there at about 36,500 and started slipping down. And also did mention that if we open flat, we could get a small sell-off until this point of 36,250. I'm just going to play that clip from yesterday's video just to show you that. This pivot or this level of this 36,250, we might even see a drop until here, a bounce on the upside, or we might see. So that's pretty much what happened today. We did get a bounce until the CPR levels. Let me turn on the CPR. See, I've added this custom CPR called AdiTrade CPR today, tomorrow. It works really well. Anybody wants, they can use it. Okay. Stay tuned until the end of the video. Once we are done with the analysis, I'll just show you how to add this and what are the settings that are there in this. It also gives the previous day high and low and even the historical. I'll share about this CPR at the end of the day. This is done by me. It's free of cost. There's nothing to worry about. You can just go and add it. I'll show you how to do it. So exactly as analyzed, we did hit the CPR upper level, and we didn't get the sell-off until pivot. If we had got a sell-off until pivot, I would have bought a call, but we didn't, and remained sideways throughout the day as expected because of white CPR. But there was a pretty good trade that was building up. Why? I'll just show you. See, we did take resistance at this level where I marked this, right? If I put another line here where I'm marking this blue line, kind of forming a triangle, and we did take resistance here, right? And being sideways, so how the sideways market goes, up, down, up, down. So expecting a down move if this trend line breaks until the pivot, because the pivot didn't hit today. So until the pivot point, expecting a down move, I did take a short here, right over here after this candle. But this candle took my stop loss. This green candle took my stop loss. Again re-entered when this trend line broke, and exactly over here exited because during the intraday we had a pretty good support here. Let me just clear out the diagram. Yeah, see, if you see over here, we took good support at this level, right, in the morning. Let me just mark that here with this green line. So exactly when we hit that level, I booked my profits here, but either way we did come and hit the pivot again. So this was my trade. Made a pretty decent profit of 4,500 bucks. Whenever we have white CPR, I just go with less lots. If we have a narrow CPR, I tend to go with more lots. Now coming for the trade possibility for tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a very narrow CPR, which indicates we could have a pretty trending day, either on the upside or downside. Now coming to the trade possibilities, what I would do, where I would enter. See, if we get a huge gap up, see, it's too early to determine the gap up or gap down based on XGS Nifty. Right now it's showing at about 30 points minus. So there might be a gap down, but let me just refresh this and check. Yeah, it's still showing 30 points. But the US market is still not yet open. It opens at 7 p.m. Indian time. So once the US market opens, we'll have to check how the SGX Nifty is trading. So coming for the trade possibility for tomorrow, I'll just shift to a 15 minutes time frame in Bank Nifty. Since today we had a pretty consolidated sideways move, tomorrow can be a trendy day based on the CPR, or it can even remain sideways. There is a possibility for that as well. So where I would like to enter is, if we get a gap down, we might get a slip until S1 or this previous day low. the previous day low will come here. I would move, I'll keep this red line and mark one previous day low also here, because even this red line is a good support at about 36,250. So I don't want to remove that line. I will mark a previous day low at about 36,213. We might get a dip until S1 or the previous day low. And if we get a good rejection candle on the upside, like a good rejection candle is like this. If I get a hammer and this price action itself is like morning star. So something like that, if I get in at this level, probably I'll take a call with pivot as the first target. This resistance definitely as the first target. This resistance zone that I marked, that is about 36,500, and then R1. I'll book my profits at R1. Later on, see if you're going up or if you're consolidating here. It depends on the market tomorrow. Oh, sorry. So that is one possibility if we get a gap down. Let me just get rid of all these lines. And the other possibility is if we get a gap up, say, since we remained so hugely bullish from past 2 days, right? So since if we get a gap up somewhere close to R1 or this previous day high, this resistance zone got deleted. Let me just add that back. Yeah. If we get a gap up toward close to R1 or this resistance, I will not jump into a trade. I'll probably wait. Probably if we break R1, get a retest of R1 and then probably think of going long. So this is the two possibilities for Bank Nifty that I'm seeing. In case we start slipping further, I would look to sell at R1. Okay. And how that can play out is, say we gap up between R1 pivot, we take support at pivot and go up and get some kind of rejection at R1. Probably I'll look to sell with the pivot and S1 as the target in case if it tends to be a bearish day, or say we gap up anywhere, come down, probably the price comes up and takes support resistance again at the pivot and start slipping further. Yeah, I would keep S1, this green line at about 36,000 as one target, and S2. I don't think we will be slipping so much. I'll be showing you the open interest and telling you why. So that is for Bank Nifty based on the entry. Let's quickly check the open interest. There's still some good resistance at 36,500. If it gets taken out, probably the next target would be 37,000. But breaking 37,000 looks difficult. There's hardly any put sellers. It's only the call sellers that are there. And a strong support at 36,000. For any reason, like say some news based or some kind of profit booking move, if we get a dip until 36,000, this area S2, for some reason if we get a dip until here, yeah, probably I'll think of going long based on the open interest, as there is a good support there. So that is for Bank Nifty. Let's look at Nifty. Nifty is kind of like a pretty funny story. Let me just put the CPR. As I mentioned earlier, I will show how to add and use the CPR at the end of the video. Though we had a pretty wide CPR, Nifty gave a dip as mentioned until the pivot point and just shooted on the upside. We could be at some kind of a top here and we could face some resistance. According to my analysis, we could face some sideways movement or some resistance tomorrow for Nifty, or some kind of a profit booking where we might dip a little until at least until S1 or 16,875. Just a possibility, as we are overstretched for too long. There could be some consolidation or profit booking for tomorrow is what I'm expecting. If not, if we continue to move higher, there's no other targets to keep. I would just rely on the CPR targets, that is R1, R2, R3. And a good buy would be if we get a dip until the pivot or S1. For some reason, if we get a dip until this, 16,000 16,700, right, is a good buy based on the open interest. The open interest is a pretty funny story. I'm going to show you why in a minute. So if you get a dip somewhere close to 17,000, it's a good buy with R1, the pivots, R1 and R2 as target. If not such a big dip, probably a dip even until a pivot, you can have a target on the upside. The first target will be this 17,150 and R1, R2 on the pivot. It's just my analysis based on looking at even weekly, monthly CPR. We're already at weekly CPR top. So based on my analysis, I do feel we would be in a pretty consolidated sideways day, and probably might get, depending on the global market, we might get a move towards the end of the day on the upside, is what I'm thinking. But I'll be focusing on Bank Nifty. Now coming to the open interest for Nifty, I'll show you why Nifty is so bullish. Based on the open interest, right, Nifty is very bullish. You see this in all the analysis that I've done so far. Like ever since I started my YouTube, I haven't seen a day like this where there's so much of put sellers and hardly anything on the call side. The call side, what you see is probably just few call sellers who have hedged their position. That's it. There's no genuine call sellers who's thinking the Nifty is going to be bearish. So Nifty is looking bullish, but how we can enter is try and catch only the bottom. Like say if we get a dip until this pivot or S1, I would try to catch the bottom, not the top, because it will not be very easy to trade also if you catch the top. Why? I'll just show you. See, this is the 5-minute chart for today. In case if I had entered here, it would be a good trade. Okay. Now say if I entered here, I'll probably get a feeling we are going to reverse. We did reverse, again shoot up. Especially, and say if I enter here, keeping R2 as a target, we did get such a big sell-off and again shoot up on the upside. See, this is going to happen at the all-time high because a lot of people would want to book their profits at all-time high. So a very choppy move going up is a possibility in Nifty. So that's why I'll be sticking to Bank Nifty, but I won't be trading tomorrow as September 1st. They're calling it as a no trading day. I'm just going to stick with that moment due to the margin rule and all that. But I'll be following the markets just to see what happens. So based on the open interest, Nifty is very bullish, not just bullish, very bullish. So if we get a dip in the opening, like you'll get it very fast, right? So it will be difficult to catch, but if we can catch somewhere close to S1 or the pivot, we could see higher targets. For some reason, if we start slipping, which I don't think will happen based on the open interest, but there's a market saying, right, when everybody is bullish, that's when you need to be careful, and that's when the market starts reversing. When everybody is bearish, that's when the market starts going up. So when there is so much of bullishness shown, right? So we got to be a little careful because the trend could change either way on the downside immediately. Some kind of profit booking can come from all the big players. So this is the trade possibility for Nifty and Bank Nifty. I will not be trading tomorrow, but it seems to be like a good day to trade tomorrow based on the CPR in Bank Nifty and Nifty based on open interest. It's very bullish. If we can catch a bottom, like a bottom for the day, we can see probably good profits in Nifty. Now, coming to this daily chart, what I want to show in Bank Nifty is, see this trend line, right? It kind of like formed this trend line where we took resistance here. At this level, we have broken out of this, and this price action also looks like possible retest. So we could be breaking out of this zone in Bank Nifty soon and see higher levels as we mentioned previously in the analysis. Now, what I want to show is this indicator that I've written, right? I've added and published it in, in TradingView. So this indicator added trade, it's only found in TradingView, nowhere else. So let's just look at the indicator now. Yeah, now coming to adding this indicator, right? What you'll have to do in TradingView is just click on indicators. And this is something that I just published yesterday. I've been working on it from quite some time. I'm also working on many other indicators to include, like probably RSI, EMAs, and all that. So for the CPR, you just open the indicators type ADDI, put an underscore trade. You will get this Adi trade CPR today, tomorrow. You can even put the entire thing in search. Unfortunately, both of them got published. TradingView doesn't let you delete the moment you publish. So both are good. Both can be used. Both are the same. So you can click either of the one. So what you'll get is this basic layout where you'll get today's CPR and tomorrow's CPR. Now, for some reason, you want to have even historical CPR for backtesting. You can just go to the settings over here. When you come over here, you have the setting icon. Just click on the settings, click on historical CPR. You get like even previous day's CPR for backtesting, and you can click show R3 and S3 is hidden. You can click on show R3 S3, even that will be shown. Especially for Nifty, we would need this R3 and S3 as we are breaking out of R2 every day. And for intraday, when you're trading today, you can just put up this historical CPR so the chart looks clean. When you're doing some analysis and backtesting and learning during non-live markets, you can put historical CPR as well. So I'll just put up this to keep the chart clean for now. And another beautiful feature in this is we can even get the previous day high and low, right? Even that will be marked in dotted. And previous day close. Previous day close is not required. Okay, we would know it by our naked eyes itself. Previous day close. So previous day close is not required. I've just put it as option. So what we can use is previous day high and low, and that is what we have here. We have previous day high. That is, for tomorrow, and it plots correctly. For tomorrow, the previous day high is this point, and previous day low is this point. So like how I mark all these lines and keep, right? Even we can just keep this one indicator and trade. It will work beautifully. So this one trading tool that I've added. So you can go ahead and add this under add the trade CPR today, tomorrow. I'm working on many other things to incorporate many things, like I do look at sometimes moving averages and stuff, RSI. So obviously you can go and add individually everything, like go to indicators and just go to built-in RSI, EMA, you can manually add them. So just trying to incorporate everything and try and make a better, along with CPR, try and make a better indicator. I'm working on it, but for now, this Adi Trade CPR looks good. You can use it. And that's it for today. Let's see how the day goes tomorrow. Tomorrow is supposed to be a no trading day for all retailers, just to support this movement. And I'm sticking to it, as I do believe for intraday retail traders should be given leverage for the margin. So I'm going to support it and not trade tomorrow, but I'll be following the market, and analysis for Thursday also will be posted.